stories, and let's watch and listen to our stories. There will be so much to tell. Ghana is a truly beautiful country. Be Ghana, stay in Ghana, experience Ghana, make Ghana great. And we will invite the world to come and experience Ghana too. But for now, stay home. Brought to you by the National Film Authority. Support the Stay Home and Discover Ghana Later campaign. This channel supports the campaign.
God bless our homeland. God.
Metro TV.
Hello, very good evening and welcome. This 21st of June 2021. This is Newsnight and we are airing live from Ekwabahima Studios in our office here at Northridge in Accra. Remember, our bulletin is live on DSTV channel 277. We're also live on Facebook and YouTube on Metro TV Ghana. My name is Nana Yoichi.
And I am Ifia Fusa. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Stakeholders in the energy sector demand the scrapping of taxes and levies on petroleum prices to cushion Ghanaians against the rising fuel price hikes.
Five traditional youth growth in the Ashanti region threaten to shut down over 70 branches of Lighthouse Chapel in the Ashanti region if the founder, Bishop Darkwood Mills, failed to personally apologize for the disparaging remarks about the Asante Hene Otumfuo Setutu and the Meshia Palace.
And in business, economists urges Ghanaian entrepreneurs to take advantage of the opportunities from the African Continental Free Trade Area because of the huge market size of about 1.2 billion people it offers.
In sports, a number of fans at Tokyo Olympic Games to be limited to 50% due to COVID-19 restrictions.
And later on the international front, we take you to Ethiopia, where a vote in a crucial parliamentary election has taken place against the backdrop of war and famine in the northern Tigray region. Details of these stories and many more coming up in the next hour. Please stay tuned.
Thank you very much. This is Newsnight on Metro Television. To our first story, the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, said the decision by the Chief Justice, Anin Yeboah, to refer Bolgatanga East MP Dr. Dominic Ayine to the General Legal Council is part of a grand scheme to silence opposition views on the suppress of speech guaranteed by the 1992 Constitution. General Secretary of the party, Johnson Esiedun Ketia, at a press conference said the NDC stands by Dr. Dominic Ayine and will resist any attempt to silence lawyers affiliated to the NDC party.
The Bolga East MP Dr. Dominic Ayine, in a panel discussion, questioned the independence of the judiciary in their arbitration of the 2020 election petition. According to the letter from the Judicial Secretary to the Disciplinary Committee's chairperson of the General Legal Council, the statement made by Dr. Ayine calls for disciplinary action from the Council. But addressing the matter at a press briefing, the opposition National Democratic Congress described the Chief Justice's decision to drag the Bolgatanga East MP before the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council (GLC) as an attempt to cowardice lawyers affiliated to the NDC.
The latest persecution of Dr. Ayine is part of a grand agenda by the current Chief Justice to intimidate cower, and muzzle all dissenting voices, particularly those in the NDC, who dare to speak against some of the strange decisions that characterize the 2020 presidential election petition. As you may be aware, only a few months ago, some lawyers with NDC leanings, specifically lawyer Abraham Amaliba and lawyer David Annan, were hauled to this same disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council by the same Chief Justice in similar fashion.
The General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, also said the Chief Justice petition forms part of a grand scheme to silence opposing view and suppress free speech guaranteed by the 1992 Constitution.
We wish to reiterate the fact that the invitation of Dr. Ayene to appear before the General Legal Council is yet another attempt by the Chief Justice to intimidate and suppress views that are at variance with his own views. Even if the Chief Justice disagrees with Dr. Ayene's views or deems same as erroneous, the statement made were decorous expressions of opinion about a judgment delivered by the Supreme Court of Ghana and do not warrant professional discipline. Our progressive march as a constitutional democracy will suffer a grave setback if the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council were to proceed to hold an inquiry into the matter of Dr. Ayene's statements.
He demanded that the Chief Justice withdraws his petition against the former member of Mahama's legal team in the 2020 election petition.
Our constitution and laws protect the integrity and independence of the judiciary and not the sensibilities of judges. Judicial vanity is a threat to justice and must not be countenanced in any democracy. We therefore join all well-meaning Ghanaians to demand that the Chief Justice withdraws his petition against Dr. Ayene forthwith. We further serve notice that as a political party, we are keenly following events and shall resist any judicial tyranny with all our might.
The NDC says they would continue to defend the cause of freedom and right in the country.
Academic work at the Accra Technical University has returned to normalcy following the suspension of the partial strike action by the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, TUTAG, about a week ago. Students and teachers say they are hopeful government will heed the ruling by the National Labour Commission for their return to work. Our reporter, Ohima Ponsa, visited the Accra Technical University and brings you more in this report.
We are back to the Accra Technical University to check if the lecturers are back to the lecture halls. We are now in the hotel catering and the institution management. I would like to find out from the students how they welcome the U-turn from their lecturers. Welcome to Metro TV.
Thank you.
What do you make of the suspension of the strike action by the association?
I think it's a good thing that the teachers are back because it's really helping us with on-campus and online studies as well.
What were your expectations then when you heard of the strike action?
It was good. I was happy about it.
Your lecturer is back to the classroom. How did you welcome the news?
Initially when they came, we weren't quite surprised because during the strike, some had lectures, some didn't have lectures, so to us it was sort of normal for some of the lecturers to have classes. So we weren't quite surprised when we were told that we had class.
Okay. Yes. But then at least now you feel okay that lecturers is in session?
Yes, we are much more okay, and we feel much more better that there are lectures in session, because before we were quite worried about how the semester was going to go if we don't have classes, and we felt that the semester is going to be difficult without lectures in session, so we are quite comfortable with the lectures in session.
The local chapter chairman of TUTAG at the Accra Technical University, Dr. Zubairu Ibrahim, reacting after the National Labour Commission's ruling, which has compelled TUTAG to call off a strike action, said they are looking forward to the 60 days timeline ruling, which equally binds government to fulfill its obligations to TUTAG.
Colleagues have returned to classroom and we are teaching. The Minister for Education invited us on Tuesday. So Monday, we met Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. In our meeting, they produced a letter that we should start negotiation with them on 29th. We went to the Labour Commission. Their ruling, they gave timelines. So taking the goodwill of the minister, just oppose it with the timelines given by the National Labour Commission. We think that we can hold that one for now, go back to the classroom, engage to the process, because they've given us that within 60 days, certain things should be done. Previously, the ruling didn't give timelines, but this time around, there were timelines for everything to be done within those periods.
They are very much happy that at least the lecturers are back to the classrooms. Reporting for Metro News is Ohimia Amponsan.
The Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana, TUSAG, has hinted that it will embark on a nationwide strike by July 31, 2021 if conditions of members are not improved. This comes barely 24 hours after the Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, TUTAG, called off its strike. Members of TUSAG laid down their tools in January 2020 but were forced to suspend the action following an injunction secured by the National Labour Commission at the court against their strike. Let's now have a conversation on the back of this, and joining us via Zoom is the association's president, Honu Edem. Now, thanks so much for your time on Newsnight. Have you petitioned the relevant authorities in trying to get your concerns addressed? Hello. All right, so you're trying to establish a connection with the president of TUSAG, the Technical Universities Senior Administrators Association of Ghana. They are related to the TUTAG. Remember, about just some few days ago, TUTAG returned to the classroom, as we showed you in that report we aired earlier. I do understand you've been able to establish a better connection with him now. Now I'm asking, have you petitioned the relevant authorities in trying to get your concerns addressed? Hello? Hello? So we are having problems establishing a connection with him, but we'll still work the lines and bring you that interaction with the president of TUSAG. All right, so I'm asking, have you petitioned the relevant authorities in trying to get your concerns addressed? Hello? All right, so we'll try and rework the lines, and as it when we are able to establish a better connection, we'll definitely bring you that interaction with TUSAG. You're live on Newsnight on Metro Television. We go for a break and return shortly with more. Please stay.
Football and nothing a high sense as sponsor Euro 2020. Edia Mauno. Nisa Suntina Yatiti TV say who? Edia Mauno. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. Kawe kwajo brand new high sense TV and board that for pictures near clear na color near deep sound quality this dear one it here high sense TV so dear entry power about down one access you are akona utusa barefoot. If it's 18th June, I copy 11th July. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. And my ref is high sense and 5 years warranty. A high sense Euro 2020 TV super promo. I cost a high sense showrooms. I want Ghana for Nanina. What you would you not high sense everyday prices for everyday people. High sense official sponsor at the Euro 2020.
The search for a reliable partner in dealing with your U-turn bus needs has been made easier and convenient with SA Automobile. SA Automobile, formerly U-turn Ghana Limited, has been in the business of offering quality U-turn products and services at competitive rates. At SA Automobile, our team of expert staff, management, engineers, and mechanics professionally deal in the sale of U-turn buses, genuine spare parts, its repairs and maintenance at a highly effective workshop with remarkable speed. We also have available the sale of Camel car batteries, Weichai and Kia spare parts, Zonton coaches and light-duty vehicles for everyday movement. Contact us on 020-000-0831 or 054-555-7500. You can also email us info@saautomobilegh.com or visit our website at www.saautomobilegh.com. SA Automobile, the pleasure of doing business with you is all ours.
You're welcome back. This is News Night on Metro Television. We're also streaming live on Facebook at Metro News. Let's bring you other stories now. Now, the 2021 Population and Housing Census is expected to kickstart in some few weeks to come. Already, government statistician Samuel Kobena has indicated that over 8 million houses have been chalked and listed for the start of the exercise. And so let's have a conversation on the back of this. Tonight, we are asking what progress has been made so far, what challenges are there to be fixed, and what plans are there for us ensuring the success of this particular exercise is concerned. We have been joined in studio by Owusu Keja. He's the head of census methodology with the Ghana Statistical Service. Thanks so much for your time on News Night. Now, Professor Samuel Kobena has indicated that more than 8 million houses have been chalked and listed for the start of the exercise. What does this mean for the success of the exercise?
Thank you very much, and good evening to your cherished viewers. And so, a little of correction here, so we're not talking about just houses.
Okay.
So we are looking at structures, and by structures, in addition to houses, we are also looking at kiosks and containers, tents, all these makeshift structures are also being listed.
Okay.
And so we're looking at around 11 million of such structures per our building footprint information that we have. And so having done 8 out of the 11 is a great achievement, and that is what Prof. Enim talked about.
All right.
So we are told that this whole exercise, when the officers are on the ground, on the night itself, what questions exactly should be asked? Because you enter certain homes, and if you're not careful, the way you go about your questioning will even put people off and create problems. And we are told that if you put certain impediments which will, make the work of the officers difficult, you'll become liable for punishment by the state.
I guess the night you're referring to is the census night.
Yes.
And so what we are currently doing is the first phase of the exercise. So the full data collection is in 2 parts. The first part is the listing exercise that we talked about, and the second phase is the enumeration of the population and structures. And so the enumeration will start on the 28th of this month, and it spans 2 weeks. So we ending on the 11th of July. So there's this misconception here, which is some people thinking that on the night of 27th is when we're doing the counting. And so let me take this opportunity to clarify this. And so on that night, 27th of June 2021, which is declared census night, we are only enumerating 4 groups of people. And here I'm referring to, 1, the floating population, and here we're talking about people who may be traveling long distances from Kumasi to Boriga, from Takoradi to Kumasi, and so on and so forth. So the procedure is that we don't stop buses on the way and do the counting. And so for these people, at the point of departure is when we enumerate them. And so we have already arranged with the transport operators to make sure that we get these people enumerated on that night. And then there's also another group of people who we say are homeless. And so we have people who don't have homes. And for these people, we can only get them at night. So they sleep on people's verandas, in front of shops, and so on and so forth. So these people will also be enumerated on the night of 27th. And then there's also another group who, for some reason, may spend the census night in hotels. And so for these people, we are also going to enumerate them on that night. So again, we arrange with the hotels, managers, and so on and so forth. The 4th group will be those who spend the night in hospitals. Okay. And so for these people, we also enumerate them.
Now,
but apart from these people, all others will be enumerated between 28th of June and 11th of December.
Now, on the census night for the enumeration, what particular time does it start? When does it end? And what plans have you put in place to enhance the safety of these enumerators who will be going around that time?
So we're looking at the midnight of that 27th, and that is the point that all the census questions will be in reference to. And so it's not just the enumerators within these enclaves that will be doing the enumeration on that night. Because of the nature of the work, we will be mobilizing all people. If I say all people, I'm talking about all the field officers to make sure that they support these other people, and also working with the police service to make sure that nothing happens on that night.
Let me give you 2 questions in one. How well have you trained these enumerators so that we don't end up having data or information which does not actually reflect the population in the country? And as they go out, especially when it comes to language barrier, how well are you distributing the enumerators in such a way that they will be able to get the message from the right people at the right time?
So we've trained them very well. We did an 11-day training for these enumerators and supervisors, and so they know what to do on the ground.
I'm asking this specifically because this time you're using some electronic gadgets like tablets.
Sure.
With the information that they will be inputting into the system, is it not complex? Is it simplified enough that they don't be making mistakes? We've seen from the EC's point where people, when counting is done, is going to the collation center, figures turn out to be double counting and all that. That's the point I want you to address so that we can have reliable data for the population of Ghana.
Yeah, so that is one advantage of having a digital census for 2021. Unlike the previous censuses, yes, when mistakes, were committed, it was only at the point of data processing that we got to know some of these errors. This time around, we are using CAPI, and therefore, apart from these enumerators and supervisors who are taking the information for us, we have also trained data quality monitors who each day are also monitoring the quality of the data that comes. And so as the data comes, these data quality monitors are looking at the quality, and as soon as they detect any of such errors, they draw attention of the field officers to go back and make sure that they correct them. So that is the advantage of using the CAPI application as opposed to
okay, now,
paper.
In wrapping up, how many questions are we going to have for this particular census?
Yeah, so we have about 127 questions on the instrument.
Okay.
But not all the questions may be applicable to the individuals. For instance, if you're talking about questions on education, we're looking at people who are 3 years and older.
Okay.
And so all the others will not be relevant. If you're talking about questions on economic activity, you are looking at the population who are 5 years and older. And therefore, if you are not 5 years, you don't answer those questions.
Okay.
And then also, depending on your response to some of the questions, you may have to skip some of them.
All right.
So,
thank you.
All right.
Does the statistical service have the budgets that you're going to use to pay your enumerators? Because it will come up after this whole exercise.
We have it. And the question that has always come about is whether the enumerators will be paid at the end of the period.
Okay.
So again, let me clarify this. We are paying a lump sum of 2,520 for the enumerators within the period, and for the supervisors we are giving 2,900.
We would have to end at this point. We're most grateful for your time. We've been speaking to Osu Keja, who's the head of census methodology with the Statistical Service, as we take a look at Ghana's population census, which will be happening on the 27th of June on the census night. We now take a look at another story where the president, we understand, has toured some parts of the northern and upper east region, but exactly we're told that the president is joined with the vice president and they are monitoring some projects which have been happening far away in the north.
For these murderers and criminals who want to destabilize and terrorize our lives in Ghana.
Yadda ana sira yi ya kwaso for Solomon wasa for Solomon na Burkina Faso ne Togo la pie ne ka ya kwaso na nimbambe Togo ka bambe para ka bambe Burkina ka bambe para den na kete ke ni bane ko ni ba kana be para fo ala na makore aya tata kwaso de ala Togo de ala test.
Whenever you are aware of the measures that the government is taking to strengthen the security agencies here and protect us from terrorist attacks emanating from Burkina Faso.
If me, Bunkan Kotum, Soja and Bepala, Police Bepala, so of me on Tunisia, can need Bakuya Sam Ghana to stay.
And I'm happy to inform you that a permanent barracks is going to be established here in this area to be able to address the issue of terrorism.
If me from the Ponte Sopalo, the barracks la beba zuela, Nana de Boaye, barracks, or Patricia Wire, and we can make a soldier and a bepala, Sinfa, Yanagos, Tum Kanato.
I've heard your request for the.
So let's take you back to our earlier story on the Technical University Senior Administrators Association of Ghana's intention to embark on a nationwide strike by July 31, 2021 if their conditions of members are not improved. Thankfully, we have been joined via Zoom again by the president of the association, Honu Edem. If you can hear me now, I was asking, have you petitioned the relevant authorities in trying to get your concerns addressed?
We have duly notified the relevant organizations in this particular matter, and like you rightly said, the issues are very known to the established stakeholders in this matter, the Ministry of Education, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. They are very much aware about these concerns that we have raised. And it's our hope that they would not give us a cause to reach the deadline that we have specified in our letter.
Edemonu, I mean, TUTAG just left.
Yes.
They just, resumed from a strike because the Labour Commission called them for discussion. And you are just coming in a few hours after they've been called back to the classroom or the lecture halls. Is it not, in line for you to probably sit with the Labour Commission or even hold a press conference to make your case known, because you're also talking about conditions of service, instead of projecting or throwing in a date for a strike?
Yes, that is the ideal way to go, and that is the way we would have wanted to go. But then the rulings that we had in 2020 by the National Labour Commission, which made us to suspend our strike then, was that the various unions within the technical universities would be called to on the table for negotiations. They are not going to be doing it individual unions and all that, because, like you rightly mentioned, conditions of service cuts across all the staff categories within the technical universities. And so our expectation is that one association they will not just call one association, but they will do it holistically, because at this stage that we, the senior members, are even coming forward, the junior and senior staff issues are also there, which are not being dealt with. So we want the government to do this holistically. All the various stakeholders, all the various unions should be called onto the table, because we all don't have conditions of service in the technical universities, and we hope that they will not give us this recourse. We are actually looking forward that they will come forth and give us strict timelines as to how these conditions that we are talking of will be provided, the various issues we tabled will be addressed.
Adam, do you think, the National Labour Commission disappointed you? That is why at this time you are projecting a strike, because the ruling from 2020 said that all these unions were going to be attended to. Do you feel disappointed by the NLC?
We were happy with the ruling of the National Labour Commission at that time, and we as employees, our hope was that the ruling was two ways. One for the employees, the workers to take some actions, and then the government institution, the government bodies were also to take some particular actions. We, the employees, we've gone ahead and lived up to expectations, obeyed the rulings of the National Labour Commission. But then the government institutions, which were supposed to also do their part, they have not done so. And the National Labour Commission has also not been very forceful with the established organization. They've not been executive enough on them to ensure that their rulings that they are brought to bear.
Adam, thank you very much for your time. Happy. We will obviously come back to you as these stories unfold. Adam Hono is the president of TUSAC.
To other stories, in a bid to transform the national capital as well as provide solutions to everyday challenges in the region, such as poor sanitation, congestion, amongst others, the Greater Accra Regional Minister Harry Quartey, with support from the Regional Coordinating Council, has today hinted of plans to introduce an Operation Clean Your Frontage as part of Making Accra Work Again campaign. Harry Quartey, while addressing assembly members of all municipal assemblies in Accra, called on assembly members to revive existing laws as well as pass the Operation Clean Your Frontage within the shortest possible time.
As part of the stakeholder engagement and the Let's Make Accra Work agenda, today we have met with all the assembly members in Greater Accra, including government appointees. They number about 621. Now, we have discussed here today and we have agreed that they should revive the bylaws. Those that are not in place, they should, as a matter of urgency, pass one. Notable amongst them is to pass a bylaw we'll call Operation Clean Your Frontage. And that when that bylaw is passed, companies, institutions, businesses, households, landlords will be responsible for their immediate surroundings in terms of ensuring total cleanliness. The assemblies will also ensure markets, principal streets and all that are cleaned. So therefore, people will go around, and if it is found that your frontage is not clean, then you are fined. Aside that, the Regional Security Council, of which I'm a chairman, has met have taken a decision. In Greater Accra, we are not saying that motorbike riders should be harassed. Now, what we are saying is that going forward, there's a committee in place. All motorbike riders are to ensure their motorbikes are properly registered, properly insured, and they are to wear helmets at all times. No motor rider is supposed to carry more than 2 persons going forward. If you carry more than 2 persons, then you know it's an offense. Number 3 or 4 is they have to respect and abide by all the traffic regulations in Accra.
It's now time to bring you the latest in business, and Winston is here. Hello, Winston.
Hello, Ifia.
What's coming up in business?
Many more on the field of business. This evening we'll be giving you an update on entrepreneurship and what an economist have said concerning entrepreneurs and how best they can take advantage of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. This and more coming up on business. And now to our first business story. Economist Emmanuel Ahmad Dakwa is urging Ghanaian entrepreneurs to take advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat in Accra. He said this market offers 1.2 billion people market size. This, according to him, will strategically position Ghana as a business hub for exchange of market ideas for socio-economic development.
I believe that we can do more to support entrepreneurs in terms of creating that enabling environment. The cost of capital is very expensive in Ghana, even though we are seeing a downward reduction of lending rate, but still as compared to lending rate in the sub-region and even Africa as a whole, Ghana's lending rate is still on the high side. That is key. Number 2 is about the market. Once I produce a good or a service, who am I selling that good or service to? And that is very critical that entrepreneurs in Ghana should get it right. Now we have the opportunity to have what we call the African Continental Free Trade Area. It offers us a market size of about 1.2 billion, which means that Ghanaian entrepreneurs will be able to sell tariff-free, quota-free to these 1.2 billion people. But the big question you have to ask is, what idea are we selling to these people? What product, what service are we selling to them? And it's very critical if you want to get it right in terms of entrepreneurship.
That was on the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Now moving on to other news. Proceeds from ESLA in the first quarter of 2021 fell by 14.5% to 533.31 million Ghana cedis. The central bank's first quarter statistical bulletin has shown the decline in revenue of the PLL and NSL could be attributed to levies collected which have not been lodged into the respective account, but will reflect later in future reports. The data revealed that a drop from 620.3 million Ghana cedis in first quarter of 2020 is largely driven by the Public Lightening Levy, National Electrification Scheme levy component, contributing to the ESLA process, which recorded no revenues despite an increase in the Price Stabilization and Recovery Levy and the Energy Debt Recovery Levy. The report further shows that at the end of 2020, 15.7 million Ghana cedis was collected for the Public Lightening Levy and the National Electrification Scheme levy were above their respective target by 5.7%. According to the report, further shows that at the end of 2020, 15.7 million Ghana cedis were collected for PLL, while NESL recorded an amount of 10.4 million Ghana cedis as actual collection. Proceeds for both Public Lighting Levy and the National Electrification Scheme levy were above the respective target by 5.7%, according to the 2020 annual report on management of the energy sector levies and accounts project. The decline in revenue of the Public Lighting Levy and the National Electrification Scheme levy could be attributed to levies collected which have not been lodged into the respective account, but will reflect later in future reports. Despite the fall in revenue, there is optimism for the ESLA to perform better this year, given that the 2021 budget introduced new taxes.
In April this year, the Energy Sector Levy Act 2015, Act 899, was amended to increase the energy sector levies by 20 Ghana cedis per litre and diesel at 8 pesos per kilogram for liquefied petroleum gas. Proceeds from the Energy Sector Recovery Levy is planned for use in meeting the funding gap resulting from inability of the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, to redeem its obligations under the terms of power purchase agreement with independent power producers.
Now to some trade issues. The cedi traded against the dollar at a mid-rate of 5.7412. It also traded against the pound sterling at 7.9450. At a mid-rate also on the commodities market, the price of crude oil went up today at a unit price of negative 0.01. Up next is forex and commodities. That's it for business here on News 9. My name is Winston Taki. Nana Entry and Ifya is standing by for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Winston. Still watching News 9 on Metro Television. We're taking a break. When we return, we have sports.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room sets, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
33-watt safe fast charge system with 2-for-1 certification. 90Hz superfluid display. 6.95-inch Full HD+. MediaTek Helio G95 processor. Unbeatable gaming experience. Infinix Note 10 Pro, faster and smoother.
You're welcome back. This is News Night on Metro Television. It's now time for sports, and Phil is here. Hello, Phil.
Hello, my dear. How are you?
I'm good. COVID is biting hard on the Tokyo Olympics.
But the fans will be allowed to the games according to city authorities. Have all the details plus the ongoing European Championship. Up next, we're bringing you sports. My name is Feo John Quarter. This is the sports segment of the news. Limited fans will be allowed to watch Tokyo Olympic Games when the games start in July. The decision to allow the fans was taken after a meeting between the International Olympic Committee and the city authorities.
Up to 10,000 Japanese fans will be permitted at Tokyo 2020 Olympic Game venues, despite warnings from health authorities. Overseas spectators are already banned, but organizers said domestic fans could attend, providing crowds did not exceed 50% of a venue's capacity. Fans will not be allowed to shout or speak loudly and must wear face masks at all times while in venues. The Olympics are scheduled to begin on the 23rd of July, while the Paralympics follow a month later from August 24. Spectator numbers for the Paralympics will be confirmed by July 16th, said a joint statement from the International Olympic Committee (IOC), the International Paralympic Committee (IPC), the Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government and the Government of Japan. The decision to allow spectators comes despite the release of a report last week by Japanese medical experts that said holding the games without spectators was the least risky and most desirable option.
With regards to the risk of the spread of coronavirus infections within the venues, we believe that it is desirable not to allow spectators, as this will reduce the risk of infection. Since holding the Olympics is already decided, I hope that it will be held in a way that the infection will not spread. That's my personal and expert view. In that sense, I believe that the organising committee and the government need to recognise that there are risks and take various countermeasures.
Should there be a rapid increase in COVID-19 infections and impact on Japan's healthcare systems, the 5 parties will consider further restrictions. This could include further reducing spectator numbers at venues. There are fears that the games may trigger a surge in coronavirus infections in Japan. As a result, the Japanese Prime Minister last week encouraged the Japanese public to watch the games on television rather than attending events in person. On Sunday, a state of emergency in Tokyo was lifted 5 weeks before the start of the Olympics. Emergency COVID-19 restrictions had been in place in Japan's capital and other prefectures since late April amid a surge in infections.
We're still talking about the Olympic Games. 35-year American Olympic champion Allyson Felix has secured yet another Olympic qualification after finishing second in the U.S. trials.
The 6-time Olympic champion Allyson Felix qualified for her 5th Games with a 2nd-place finish in the 400 meters at the U.S. trials, which thrilled fans. The 35-year-old, who has 9 Olympic medals in total, clocked 50.02 seconds behind winner Quanera Hayes. Tokyo will be Felix's first Olympics as a mother, having welcomed daughter Cameron in 2018. It has been a fight to get here, and one thing I know how to do is to fight, said 13 times world champion Felix. To make the 5th one so special, Felix returned to the track 2 years ago following life-threatening complications arising from the birth of her daughter. Cameron spent the first month of her life in intensive care. Man, it has been a fight to get here, and one thing I know how to do is to fight, and I just did that all the way home, Felix said. She added, society tells us a lot of times that if we have a child, then your best moments are behind you. But that's absolutely not the case. I am a representation of that. Meanwhile, South African Caster Semenya, who ran 15.52.28 in April, did not make the needed time for the Olympics. Semenya is allowed to compete in events between 400 meters and 1 mile without taking testosterone-reducing drug, following a rule introduced by the World Athletics in 2019. Semenya refuses to take testosterone-reducing drug, arguing that it could endanger her health and that the ruling denies her and other athletes with different of sexual development (DSD) the right to rely on their natural abilities.
So there you have a good news for Allyson Felix and bad one for Caster Semenya of South Africa. That's it for sports. My name is Phil John Quarte. Back to Ifia and Nana for the rest of the news.
All right, Phil, thanks so much for bringing us a sports update. At this point, we go for a break and return shortly with more Tuesday.
Did you know that cloth handkerchief gets dirty and wet after wiping your sweat or blowing your nose with it? Keeping a dirty handkerchief in your pocket or bag is very unhygienic. Reusing it increases your chances of getting sick from germs. That is why I always use Flora disposable handkerchiefs. Flora disposable handkerchiefs is disposable, thus making it a more hygienic option. It's thick and very absorbent. With 10 tissues in a pack, Flora disposable handkerchief is better than a cloth handkerchief. Mommy, my Flora disposable handkerchief. Look out for Flora toilet roll, Flora multi-purpose paper towels, Flora table napkins, and Flora box tissues in a shop near you. For both purchases, call Delta Paper Mill on 0243 033 033.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
There's still Newsnight on Metro Television, and Harriet is standing by with entertainment. Hi, Harriet.
There is more in the world of entertainment, and there's more after this. Ahead of the VGMA 2022, the award scheme is set to honor 4 distinguished industry devotees with the aim of recognizing their pivotal roles in growing music in Ghana. First observed in France in 1982, World Music Day, also known as Fête de la Musique, is celebrated in more than 120 countries globally. On the day, citizens of a city or country are encouraged to play free concerts in their neighborhoods or public spaces. The National Music Summit forms part of efforts by the awards platform to foster a national broad-based conversation towards the growth of the local industry. It heralds the 2021 VGMAs on the 25th and 26th of June. It will engage musicians, music producers, managers, distributors, and promoters, among other industry stakeholders. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the conference will be held with a limited in-venue audience and broadcast via the VGMA's social media pages. A central activity of the summit will be the presentation of a communique on the insights, conclusions, and recommendations collected from discussions to the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Arts for consideration. The summit will also see the presentation of the VGMA Titan Award to honor distinguished industry stalwarts. Additionally, there will be inductions into the Ghana Music Awards Hall of Fame. Meanwhile, the reigning Artist of the Year, Kwame Eugene, is the most nominated artist this year with 13 nods. He is followed by Adina with 11 nominations, making her the most nominated female artist in the history of the awards. Kidi secured 10 nominations.
After all is said and done, I want to see you in that pier. So when you come through.
Disney has confirmed plans to premiere a 10-part collection of animated films created by up-and-coming filmmakers from Zimbabwe, Uganda, South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, and Egypt.
According to multiple reports, the anthology series titled Kizazi Moto Generation Fire will debut on Disney Plus next year, with Oscar award-winning co-director of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Peter Ramsey, as executive producer. I am really pleased to be part of a groundbreaking, fresh and exciting project that's aimed at exposing the world to a whole new wave of creativity and invention from a place that is just ready to explode into the world's animation seen, Ramsey revealed in a statement. The film in the anthology kind of ran the scale when it comes to science fiction. There are stories that touch on the other worlds, time travel, and alien beings. All these genre conversations are seen through an African lens that makes them totally new. According to Disney Plus and ESPN Plus President Michael Paul, the cultural impact of Ryan Coogler's Black Panther influenced the driving factor behind Kizazi Moto Generation Fire as it embraces the concept of Afrofuturism. In addition to delivering thrilling animations for fans of all ages, the collection of 10 original films taps into the Afrofuturism phenomenon, which was turbocharged by Marvel's Black Panther and reflects Disney's ongoing commitment to partnering with leading global talent to tell the stories of the world from fresh.
And that's it for entertainment news on Newsnight. My name is Harriet Addy. Over to Efia and Nana for the rest of the news.
Thank you very much, Harriet. We're taking a short break. We're back with international news. Ethiopians are voting in a crucial parliamentary election taking place against the backdrop of war and famine in the northern Tigray region, with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed expected to cement his hold on power. Voting began in the capital Addis Ababa, where many Ethiopians went to the polls and very early in the morning, as early as 4 a.m., with many places to cast their votes.
Now, it is the first electoral test for Abiy Ahmed, 44, who rose to power in the year 2018, championing a democratic revival in Africa's second most populous country and a break from its authoritarian past. However, a spectacle of famine caused by the ongoing fighting in Tigray and the failure to stage elections on schedule in about 1/5 of constituencies means that promise is still in doubt. That's all time to allow for this edition of Newsnight on Metro Television. We came to you from the Ikea Brahima City here at Northridge in Accra. My name is Sophia Fusua.
My name is Nana Yowich.
Thanks so much.